Hello and welcome to Divine Interventions, where we explore the myriad ways in which faith can transform lives. I'm your host, and today we delve into a story of resilience, faith, and transformation inspired by the powerful verse from Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So sit back, relax, and allow yourself to be transported into a tale where faith moves mountains and sparks a beacon of hope. In a somber corner of an old, weather-beaten house stood Anna, bathed in a prism of soft afternoon sunlight that filtered through the dusty attic window. The ancient floorboards beneath her creaked with a comforting, familiar rhythm, harmonizing with the sighing of the wind outside. The attic, with its time-worn trinkets and thick layers of dust, was a forgotten world that belonged only to her, a sanctuary from the storm of her life downstairs. Anna's hands trembled as she gingerly picked up a neglected, leather-bound Bible, its pages yellowed by the silent progression of years. It exuded a fragrance that was a melange of antiquity, worn paper, and latent secrets. An odd sense of reverence washed over her as she cradled it, a stark contrast to the fear that usually clenched her heart. The Bible seemed to spring open of its own accord to a marked passage, Philippians 4:13. Anna read the verse aloud, her voice barely above a whisper, yet it resonated in the empty attic like a clear, melodic note. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. As the words curled around her, a feeling of tranquil courage began to seep into her veins, displacing the toxic fear she was so accustomed to. The verse echoed in her mind, a soothing balm to her tormented soul. It wasn't the attic's dust that stung her eyes. It was the glimmer of hope that these words ignited in her heart. Downstairs, she could hear the thud of heavy footsteps, the signal of her brewing storm. But the menacing sound, which usually made her heart lurch with dread, now seemed distant. She looked down at the Bible, her fingertips gently tracing the embossed letters, drawing strength from each word. She could hear her heart whispering back to the verse, acknowledging its divine power. The fading sunlight cast long shadows in the attic, highlighting the cobweb-lace beams and the neglected bric-a-brac, a silent testament to her life in this prison-like house. But today, the attic didn't feel like part of her cage. It felt like the gate to her liberation. Back in her dimly lit room, she sat on the creaky bed, the worn-out springs groaning in empathy with her every move. Her eyes, now holding a spark of newfound determination, focused on the suitcase hidden under her bed. The attic had given her a secret today, a secret weapon, in the form of an ancient verse. Even as the fear of her imminent future threatened to unravel her, Anna clutched the Bible close to her heart. Her lips moved silently, repeatedly forming the words of her newfound mantra, Philippians 4:13. Under the cover of night, she would make her escape. Anna, the woman who had been trapped for so long, was about to embark on a journey of faith and freedom. The veil of dawn had not yet lifted as Anna found herself alone in the quiet embrace of the attic once again. The morning air held a sharp chill that bit at her cheeks. The attic's frost-laden window panes painted a picture of the world outside, still asleep, oblivious to her resolution. Every creaking step she took seemed to echo loudly in the silence, a staccato rhythm that mirrored her pounding heart. She carefully laid the Bible on an old, dust-coated trunk, its leather cover, bathed in the faint gray light, a stark reminder of her newfound resolve. Around her, the attic was a still tableau of past moments, frozen in time. Each object was a silent audience, witnessing her determination as she began to prepare for her daring escape. Every night, under the cloak of darkness, she gathered what she would need. A pair of sturdy shoes, a collection of clothes meticulously folded to take up as little space as possible, and meager savings scrounged from months of frugal living. All her essentials found a place in the worn-out suitcase. The sight of it, growing heavier each passing day, was both daunting and exhilarating. Despite the churning anxiety within her, she felt a growing sense of strength that she attributed to her faith in the verse. Philippians 4:13, etched into her heart, had become her armor against fear. She often found herself whispering the words, drawing courage from each syllable as she meticulously planned her freedom. The world outside, with its frosty mornings and silent nights, seemed to mirror her life, quiet, cold, and seemingly unchanging. Yet, beneath that placid surface, there was a relentless river of resolve shaping her destiny, a testament to her strength and the power of faith. Her eyes often lingered on the Bible, resting on the old trunk like a guiding beacon. The verses, once alien, now felt like a divine lullaby soothing her frayed nerves, affirming that she was not alone. She was planning an audacious escape, yes, but she was not alone. Days folded into weeks, and the once daunting task of planning her escape had now turned into a beacon of hope, a light at the end of her long, tormenting tunnel. She was still a prisoner in her own home, but her spirit was free, soaring with the promise of liberation, fueled by her faith. One day, with her suitcase packed, her plans laid, and her resolve solidified, she knew she was ready. The words of Philippians 4:13 echoed in her mind as she looked at her reflection in the dusty attic mirror, her eyes shining with a determination that fear had no place in. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Tonight, she would leave this life behind and step into the unknown. Tonight, she would take her leap of faith. The day wore on like any other, a slow, repetitive dirge under the prison-like roof of Anna's house. But as nightfall descended, her heart hummed with anticipation, a tune far removed from the dreary hymn of her daily life. Tonight was different, a silent turning point that would reverberate through the rest of her life. She sat on the edge of her bed, the worn Bible nestled on her lap like an anchor in her stormy sea of emotions. She traced her fingers over the words of Philippians 4:13, drawing courage from the Holy Scripture as if it were her lifeline. Outside, the night was a blanket of velvet darkness, punctuated by a scatter of silver stars. The wind whispered through the skeletal trees, carrying the secrets of the night on its cool, fleeting breath. But Anna didn't see the stars or hear the whispering wind. Her entire world was condensed to the worn suitcase by her feet and the Bible in her lap. As the old grandfather clock downstairs chimed midnight, she took a deep breath. The hour had arrived. Her heart pounded a fierce rhythm against her ribs, but she felt a steady calmness seep into her veins. She had Christ by her side, she reminded herself. She was not alone. With a glance towards the window and a silent prayer on her lips, she slung the bag over her shoulder, the weight of it less daunting than the life she was leaving behind. Each step towards the door was a step away from her past, a past defined by her shackles. The house seemed to breathe around her, its creaks and moans a familiar melody that she had grown accustomed to over the years. But as she slipped the latch of the front door, the melody morphed into a farewell song, echoing in the silence of the night. Anna stepped out into the night, the chill of the wind sinking into her bones, but the freedom it carried in its gusts warmed her spirit. The moon was her only witness as she turned her back to her old home, the shadows of her past retreating into the eerie silence. She walked with purpose, her fears trailing behind her like a forgotten dream. The quiet town slept on, oblivious to her liberation, the usually intimidating paths now her route to freedom. Her destination, the bus station at the edge of town, the starting point of her journey across the country. Her heart fluttered as the station lights appeared in the distance, a beacon amidst the ocean of darkness. She clutched the Bible tighter, the leather warm under her cold fingers, the words of Philippians 4:13 resonating in her mind. Her courage didn't waver. Instead, it solidified with every step she took towards the station, her ticket to a new life. As she boarded the bus, she turned her gaze towards the sleeping town one last time. It was no longer her prison. It was simply a chapter she was leaving behind. The bus pulled away, and with it, Anna began her journey of faith and newfound freedom, Christ her co-pilot, and the verse her compass. Underneath the star-strewn canvas of the night, Anna's bus rumbled through the vast emptiness, its monotonous drone lulling her into a trance-like state. She sat by the window, her breath creating soft foggy patterns on the cool glass. Outside, the passing scenery was a mere silhouette against the moonlit sky, the darkness rendering it an abstract painting that she found oddly comforting. In her lap rested the worn Bible, a silent companion that seemed to pulsate with her heartbeat. She clung to the words of Philippians 4:13 like a lifeline in the face of her uncertain future. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. The distant hum of the bus engine blended with the muted whispers of the other passengers, the soft rattle of luggage, and the occasional rustle of turning pages. It was a soothing symphony of the unknown, a shared journey into the heart of a new dawn. As the night wore on, she watched as the first tendrils of sunlight began to stretch across the vast canvas of the sky, painting the world in hues of rose and gold. The awakening dawn cast a new light on her surroundings, illuminating the vast countryside that sprawled out as far as the eye could see. Her journey had taken her from the claustrophobic confines of her old town into an endless expanse of rolling hills, verdant farmland, and unbroken horizons. The vastness of the world outside her old life filled her with a sense of awe and a stirring sense of freedom. Resting her forehead against the cool window, she watched the world awaken. The sun rose higher, its golden light washing over the landscape, chasing away the shadows of the past. Each mile the bus covered was another mile towards her freedom, another mile away from her life of torment. Every so often, her gaze would return to the worn Bible, her constant companion, her source of strength. The words of the verse had seeped into her soul, strengthening her resolve. She was not alone. Christ was with her, guiding her, giving her the strength to face whatever lay ahead. Throughout the day, the bus stopped at various small towns, picking up and dropping off passengers, each with their stories etched in their worn faces and hopeful eyes. Anna felt a kinship with them, fellow travelers on their unique journeys. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with hues of fiery orange and deep purple, she could see the silhouette of a city rising against the vibrant horizon. Her heart fluttered in her chest, the first pangs of anxiety creeping in. The city was a symbol of her new life, a stark contrast to the world she had left behind. But she remembered her verse, whispering it like a silent prayer. She was not alone. She had taken her leap of faith, and she was ready for whatever the city had to offer. With renewed resolve, she watched as the city lights twinkled in the twilight, a testament to her journey of freedom and her unshakable faith. The bus halted with a jarring finality at the heart of the city, its looming structures towering over Anna like silent sentinels. The sharp contrast between her former world and this bustling metropolis was a jolt to her senses. The air hummed with a different energy here, the constant chatter, the steady hum of cars, the vibrant lights. It was a symphony of life on a grand scale. With the worn Bible clutched tightly to her chest, she stepped down from the bus onto the pulsating city streets. She took a moment to steady herself, letting the city's energy wash over her, the sight, sound, and smell of this new world imprinted onto her senses. She weaved her way through the crowd, her small suitcase rolling along behind her. Her heart pounded with every step she took, each footfall echoing the rhythm of this vibrant city. The sheer scale of the towering buildings, the winding streets, the flow of people, it was overwhelming, but she felt a sense of purpose surge within her, fueled by her faith. Her first days in the city were a whirlwind of adaptation. She found a small, affordable apartment in a quiet corner of the city, its humble structure a stark contrast to the intimidating skyscrapers. It was a small, bare space, but to Anna, it was a sanctuary, a physical manifestation of her newfound freedom. Her Bible found its place on a small table by her bed, its presence a soothing constant amidst her changing surroundings. Each night, under the soft glow of her bedside lamp, she would read the verse, letting its words seep into her dreams, guiding her through the challenges of each new day. Days turned into weeks as she navigated her way through the city, each venture into its pulsating heart a journey of discovery. She found a job at a small bookstore, its cozy ambience a comforting reminder of the hours she had spent in the solitude of her attic. The smell of old books, the quiet rustling of pages, it was familiar, it was home. The city, with its dazzling lights and endless maze of streets, was a constant reminder of her smallness and yet, her importance. In the sea of faces, she was but a single wave, but every wave mattered, every wave had a story, every wave was part of the grand ocean that was life. Her faith was her compass amidst the city's chaotic symphony. She often found herself whispering the words of Philippians 4:13 before stepping out into the city streets, drawing strength from its divine assurance. She was reminded every day that she was not alone, that her leap of faith had led her here, and that she had the strength to face whatever lay ahead. Her life was far from the comfort of familiarity, but it was hers. It was a testament to her courage, her resilience, and her unwavering faith. And as she lay in bed each night, staring at the moon through her small window, she felt a sense of peace wash over her. She was exactly where she was meant to be, she was home. The city's rhythm became Anna's pulse, each day a new beat, a new verse added to her unfolding song. The bookstore offered a serene refuge from the city's energetic symphony. The soft hum of quiet conversations, the scent of old parchment, and the sight of towering shelves filled with countless stories offered an anchoring familiarity amidst the city's ceaseless momentum. One evening, as the setting sun bathed the city in a golden glow, a woman walked into the bookstore. Her face was etched with lines of hardship. Her eyes echoed a haunting familiarity. Seeing her, Anna felt a pang of empathy. It was as if she was looking into a mirror reflecting her past. The woman seemed lost, her fingers delicately tracing the book spines, her eyes vacant, as if searching for something indefinable. Approaching her, Anna felt a familiar verse dance on her tongue. "May I help you find a particular book?" she asked. The woman's gaze focused on her, her eyes misty. I'm not sure. I need something to hold on to, a lifeline." In that moment, Anna knew. She turned and picked up a worn copy of the Bible, the same version that had been her guiding light. Handing it to the woman, she softly recited, Philippians 4:13, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." The woman accepted the Bible, her fingers closing around it as if it were indeed a lifeline. Her eyes filled with tears, a silent thank you escaping her lips. As she left the bookstore, the setting sun painting the city in warm hues, Anna watched her. She saw a reflection of her own journey in the woman, a poignant reminder of her own transformation. Over the following weeks, more people found their way to Anna and her bookstore. Word spread about the empathetic woman with a soothing voice and comforting words. Each person carried their own burden, their own story of struggle, their eyes mirroring the same despair Anna once knew all too well. Anna became a beacon of hope, her faith illuminating the path for others lost in their darkness. Her bookstore became a sanctuary, a place where broken souls sought refuge. Her Bible, with its worn cover and marked pages, became a shared beacon of strength. She used her faith, her journey, and her understanding to guide them, one verse at a time. Anna's own journey of healing continued alongside those she helped. Each interaction, each shared struggle, and triumph echoed her own experiences, strengthening her resolve. Her own past, once a shadowy figure of fear, had transformed into a source of power and empathy, her own struggle becoming a key that unlocked healing for others. As she closed the bookstore one evening, the city bathed in the soft glow of twilight, Anna realized how her world had expanded. She was not just a solitary wave in the ocean of life. She had become a lighthouse guiding others through their storms. She found strength in their shared stories, their shared faith, and in the incredible power of transformation, just as her Bible verse had promised. In the heart of the city, Anna's humble bookstore had become more than a sanctuary of books. It was a haven for lost souls, a lighthouse guiding those adrift back to safer shores. Each person that walked through the door carried their own storm, and Anna, with her compassionate heart and steadfast faith, became their anchor. One brisk autumn day, as the city streets were adorned with a palette of oranges and yellows, a young man named Samuel entered the bookstore. He was worn and weary, his spirit weighed down by hardships too heavy for his youthful shoulders. He looked at Anna with desperate eyes, as if seeking a reason to hold on. She greeted him with a warm smile, offering him the worn Bible that had guided so many before him. She turned to the familiar verse, Philippians 4:13, and let the divine words fill the silence. Samuel's eyes welled up as he read, the words illuminating a glimmer of hope within his worn-out soul. Days turned into weeks, and Samuel became a regular at the bookstore. Anna would often find him engrossed in the Bible, soaking up its wisdom, a newfound light slowly replacing the despair in his eyes. Samuel, with Anna's guidance, found solace in faith, his burdened heart finding refuge in the promise of divine strength. Inspired by Anna's story and the profound transformation he was experiencing, Samuel proposed an idea: to transform the upper level of the bookstore into a community refuge. A safe space where people could gather, share their stories, find solace in shared experiences, and draw strength from the collective faith. With the help of Samuel and the bookstore's growing community, Anna's vision slowly took shape. The bookstore's upper level, once an attic filled with dusty old books, was transformed into a warm, welcoming space. A large table stood at the center, surrounded by comfortable chairs. Bookshelves lined the walls, filled not only with Bibles but also books of hope and healing. The room was softly lit, fostering a sense of peace and tranquility. Anna named this space the refuge. It was open to all, and soon, it began to fill with people from all walks of life. They shared their struggles, their fears, their victories, and their hopes. Through shared tears and laughter, the room hummed with life, love, and shared strength. In the heart of a bustling city, a tiny bookstore was changing lives, one soul at a time. Anna's journey, marked by her steadfast faith and the comforting words of Philippians 4:13, was the beacon that guided this transformation. The refuge was a testament to Anna's courage and resilience, her faith blooming into a sanctuary of hope for others. Anna found joy in this service, her heart expanding with love for the community she was helping to heal. The young woman who had once felt so lost was now leading others towards their own discovery of strength and faith. The refuge had become a cornerstone of the community, its warmth and tranquility a welcome respite from the city's relentless tempo. Day after day, Anna welcomed familiar and new faces, each carrying their own world within them, each finding solace within the refuge's walls. One day, a woman named Clara stepped through the door. She was petite, her frailty hidden behind a veneer of resilience. Her eyes bore the unmistakable hue of lingering sorrow, a mirror image of the woman Anna used to be. With a gentle smile, Anna introduced Clara to the refuge. The comfort, the camaraderie, and the worn Bible with its eternally reassuring verse, Philippians 4:13. Clara, who had been wandering in the wilderness of her despair, found an oasis in the refuge. Embraced by the community, Clara found solace in shared experiences. Anna's guidance and the divine wisdom of the Bible sparked a flame within her. Slowly, she began to shed the weight of her past, finding strength in faith, in shared stories, and in the encouraging words of Philippians 4:13. Witnessing Clara's transformation reminded Anna of her own journey. Each sigh of relief, each shared story, and each tear shed in the refuge were echoes of her past. It was a poignant reminder that her journey, her struggle, was a testament to the transformative power of faith. Driven by this realization, Anna decided to expand her reach beyond the refuge. She began to organize weekly gatherings in local parks, bringing the essence of the refuge to those who were yet to find it. The gatherings attracted diverse crowds, their shared struggles and victories creating a beautiful tapestry of healing. As autumn surrendered to winter, the refuge wasn't just a room above a bookstore anymore. It was a movement, a beacon of faith and healing. It was a living, breathing testament to the enduring words of Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Despite the winter's chill, a warmth emanated from the refuge and its growing community. It was a warmth born of shared healing, of faith, and the enduring human spirit. And at the heart of it was Anna, the woman who had turned her struggle into a lifeline for others. The refuge was no longer just Anna's dream. It had become a shared haven. It was a place where lost souls found strength in shared faith, where healing stories unfolded under the watchful gaze of towering bookshelves. Amidst the city's symphony, in a quiet bookstore, the whispering pages of a worn Bible continued to guide, heal, and transform. As the year advanced, turning the calendar pages towards another spring, the refuge's influence grew within the community. It became a symbol of hope and healing, its influence extending far beyond the walls of the bookstore. Anna's dream had transformed into a vibrant reality, filling her heart with a sense of purpose and fulfillment. One sunny afternoon, as cherry blossoms dusted the city streets with soft pink petals, a local journalist named Amelia wandered into the bookstore. Intrigued by the refuge's growing reputation, she hoped to pen an article that would capture its essence. Anna, ever welcoming, greeted Amelia and introduced her to the refuge. She shared its history, her personal journey, and the divine verse that had sparked this transformative path. Amelia listened, enraptured by the unfolding narrative, seeing in it a tale of faith, resilience, and the power of community. Days turned into weeks as Amelia frequented the refuge, observing, interacting, and immersing herself in the shared experiences. She witnessed the transformative power of the refuge, the resilience it inspired, and the faith it fostered. Each story she encountered was a testament to the strength of the human spirit, embodied in the verse Philippians 4:13. When the article was finally published, it sparked an unexpected wave of interest. The tale of the refuge, of Anna's journey, and the verse that had given birth to this sanctuary, resonated with readers far and wide. Letters poured in from different corners of the city, and beyond, filled with words of admiration, stories of personal struggles, and requests to replicate the refuge elsewhere. Touched by the overwhelming response, Anna realized the refuge's potential to inspire similar spaces across the country. With the help of Samuel, Clara, and the refuge community, Anna embarked on a new journey to share the essence of the refuge, to create circles of faith beyond her bookstore. The journey was not without challenges, but the words of Philippians 4:13 echoed in her heart, lending her strength and determination. Anna's faith had not only transformed her life, it was now inspiring a ripple of transformation across the nation. As the bookstore closed each night, Anna would find herself in the quiet sanctuary of the refuge, her fingers tracing over the worn pages of her Bible. In the silence, she found affirmation of her path, a soft reminder that her journey was not just her own, but a shared pilgrimage towards healing and faith. The refuge had grown beyond Anna's wildest dreams, its influence rippling out from its humble origins in the heart of the city to touch lives across the country. Anna's journey, inspired by her unwavering faith and the guiding verse of Philippians 4:13, had transformed countless lives, and in turn, their stories were becoming chapters in the legacy of the refuge. As spring transitioned into summer, a grand event was organized to celebrate the first anniversary of the refuge. Amelia, who had penned the pivotal article, Samuel, Clara, and the many faces of the refuge community came together to honor Anna's vision. The bookstore was festooned with cheerful lights, and a sense of joyous anticipation filled the air. When Anna stepped forward to address the gathering, there was a moment of hushed reverence. The woman before them, once bound by her struggles, was now the architect of their sanctuary, the catalyst for their transformation. Her words flowed with heartfelt sincerity, encapsulating her journey, the refuge's inception, and the transformative power of faith. She ended by reading Philippians 4:13 aloud, the verse that had lit her path and guided so many others towards healing and strength. As the celebration concluded, the crowd slowly dispersed, leaving Anna alone in the refuge. She traced her fingers over the worn cover of her Bible, its pages holding more than divine wisdom, now imbued with countless stories of resilience and faith. Anna's legacy was more than just the refuge. It was the hope ignited in weary hearts, the faith rekindled in troubled souls, and the love that bound this unique community together. In transforming her life, Anna had sparked a flame that now burned brightly in many others. She stood in the heart of the refuge, surrounded by towering bookshelves and the comforting silence of the night. Her gaze fell on the familiar verse, its words etched deeply into her heart. "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Her journey was a testament to this verse, proof that faith could move mountains, ignite hope, and transform lives. Anna closed her eyes, the silence resonating with gratitude. From the dark attic of her past, she had built a sanctuary of hope, inspiring a tapestry of healing stories. As the first rays of the morning sun painted the room in hues of soft gold, Anna was filled with a renewed sense of purpose. Her journey was far from over. The refuge was just the beginning. With the strength of her faith and the guiding words of Philippians 4:13, she was ready to continue her mission, transforming lives one story at a time. And that brings us to the end of another episode of Divine Interventions. As we sign off, remember the words that powered Anna's journey and the refuge she built. "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." No matter what mountains stand in your path, may your faith guide you, strengthen you, and lead you to your own refuge. Until next time, keep the faith, keep seeking, and remember, divine interventions are all around us. Good night and God bless, my friends.